All right, so my suggestion is to cut out your graph of the week and put it on the other page. So that will be page 35. And then everything you did today will be in one little 2-page spread. So I just think it's easier if you can see the color version of this because all the colors are really similar on the black and white, sorry. So if you need to pause this to get your observations, that's fine. I know that you have less time because we just did the assessment practice, so there's only 3 questions, and then there are only 5 observations I'm looking for. Again, we're going more than this is just a graph. So the title of the graph is U.S. Net Average Valentine's Day Spending in Billions of Dollars. The total net average spending for Valentine's Day, and I think this is just an average over probably 10 years or so, is $17.55 billion. That is a lot. And then you can see the source at the bottom is the National Retail Federation. We have all of these different categories that Forbes put together. So we have candy, flowers, jewelry, greeting cards, an evening out, clothing, and then gift cards and certificates. And they start at 1.76 billion, and then they go around to the right. So that's kind of the order of all of the categories. I did ask you a couple questions. What type of graph is this? Okay, don't say it's a circle graph. It is called a pie chart, or if you called it a pie graph, I would be fine with that. And it represents parts of a whole. So that means the whole pie is $17.55 billion, and then it is divided into the equivalent amounts for how that's broken up. Whereas the data on the graph from, I already said it's the National Retail Federation. It's in the bottom left corner. Forbes is a magazine, a business magazine, so I'm thinking that they're part of it as well, just because it's on there. And then where would you see a graph like this in real life? Obviously, that's something you can come up with. Most of the time, you could say like a magazine, or you could see it in the newspaper or on social media. And you'd probably see it this time of year because obviously it's Valentine's Day. So this is just talking about the different amounts of money that the public is spending on these different things in preparation or on Valentine's Day. So you can kind of relate it to your own life with your observations, or you can be as simple as, hey, the American public spends $1.99 billion on flowers for Valentine's Day, and go from there. You can also talk about the fact that jewelry and an evening out are the most expensive and kind of why. You can buy a box of chocolates for a couple dollars, but jewelry is going to be, $100 or more depending on what you get. And an evening out, if you have a nice meal, it's not going to be as cheap as a box of chocolates. Same thing with flowers. They tend to be less expensive. So you can talk about those things, how it relates to your life, etc., etc. When you are done, go ahead and paste that in your workbook. So you should have the assessment practice on the left side, this on the right side, or if you're a page off, then maybe front and back. And then you're going to put this back in the drawer and have the substitute initial your worksheet, the worksheet that has a poodle on it. So if you look on your worksheet, you should be done with the assessment practice because you use the video to check it. Okay, so that's also step number 4. Finish the graph of the week with this video. Make sure everything's glued in properly. Have the sub-initial your worksheet. You have to have an initial down here for you to get any points for this activity. And then you're going to turn this piece of paper with your name on it into the basket. Okay, so turn it into the blue basket, and I will be checking your notebooks this weekend. Hopefully you guys were awesome, and then we can have brownies on Wednesday.